So I'm here with a Dallas legend. Started out with the name Wimpy and leveled up all the way to the name the Godfather of West Dallas. Now, how did you get all these names?
Well, when I was born, my mother conceived me at 15, but she birthed me when she was 16. And so I saw a picture of myself, a black and white picture, in 1956. I was about 3 or 4 months old. It says, "To love to my daddy from Wimpy, Wimpy." And so I wondered why they would give me such a weak name. But, a coin has two sides to it, a head and a tail.
Right.
As I got older, that name protected me, it hid me, it kept me up under the radar. But because it wasn't too, he ain't doing too much, it kept me up below the radar.
Right.
So my grandmother went to my father's house and talked to my grandfather. She says, "Your son got my daughter pregnant. What is his intentions? He's going to marry her?" So my grandfather called, "Henry Miller, come downstairs." He lived in the projects. So my father came downstairs, and my grandfather says, "She want to know, are you going to marry her daughter because you got her pregnant?" So he kind of like scrambled a little bit, but he says, "Daddy, I want to go to the Air Force." So immediately my grandfather said, "Go on back upstairs." So he told my grandmother, well, he wants to go to the Air Force. He wants to be, all he can be.
Right.
And so my grandmother said to herself, within herself, "Don't worry about that. I'll take care of my own grandson. He's my first grandson. I'll take care of him." And in her heart, she said that. And I tell you, as I grew older, she fulfilled that in her heart for me. The love that she had, she fulfilled it. But my mother was always like my sister because she was conceived me at a young age.
How old was your mother when she had you?
She had me at, I was conceived at 15, but she had me at 16 years old, when she was 16.
She conceived you at 15, and then she had you at 16.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Okay.
And so I saw the picture, and so I say, I don't understand this here. Now, the name, it kept me protected, like I said. But I didn't mind the name when I got older.
Wimpy.
Right. It didn't bother me.
Right.
Because I had several names as I got older. It went from Wimpy to Wimp, D-O-double-G, to Wimp Dog,
Right.
to Doctor,
Doctor.
to D-O-C.
Right.
Look here, let me tell you something.
DOC.
I am the original D-O-C.
Oh, you
because
did.
I'm older than the D-O-C from West Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Now,
okay.
he got rights to it.
Right.
But, as I come up, that's what they call me, D-O-C. And then they started calling me Doctor, and then Doc Holliday. So I asked my partner, CJ, I said, "CJ, why you call me Doc Holliday, man?" He said, "Say, man, because you always got money. You dress well, and every day's a holiday for you, man." I said, "Okay, well, I'll run with that, It's all good. I'll wear it." And then went from Doc Holliday to International.
International.
And then they called me ISnt for short. And then, after I grew to a certain age, when my hair started turning from black to white,
Right.
Light gray, then it went to Godfather.
The Godfather.
Now, these names, I never put them up on myself. They was given to me by individual times that I lived in my life, and as I go on, I'm going to tell you each phase of the name that I had and the time and period of my life that I went through.
Right.
And so after my grandmother laid the law down to my daddy's father, let him go and go to the Air Force. It's okay, I'll raise him. And so my mother married the man across the street, my stepfather. Yes, but now back then they kept secrets, man.
Right.
They kept, I don't know why black people do that. They could have told me, "Hey, man, that's not really your daddy."
So your father went to the Air Force,
yes,
and your mother ended up marrying the man across the street.
And I got the man's last name across the street.
Oh man,
my name ain't supposed to be Miller.
Right.
Okay, but I got the man name across the street, which I had no knowledge of it until I got older. Let's see, I'll get that point in a minute.
And did you have a relationship with your real father at all?
Oh,
or was
man.
he angry at the fact that?
No. Let me tell you what happened.
Right.
My father kept telling me, "I want to come see you," but the mother wouldn't let me see you. So I had to go with that story, what he kept telling me, you know, because
Right.
it could have been true. But what I'm trying to tell you is one day, I remember my grandfather at my cousin's house. Had to be about 9 years old. I didn't know he was my grandfather on my daddy's side. He's sitting there with overalls on. Back then when you wore overalls, you had big money. Right? You
Right.
had pockets here, pockets there, everywhere. You had pockets. So you had enough pockets to keep money in. And so he sit there on the wall. He knew I was his grandson, but I didn't know he was my grandfather.
Right.
So one of my cousins was there at my cousin's house on my daddy's side. I know she was my dad's cousin because she had married my stepfather's brother. So I always called him uncle and called her auntie.
Right.
See? Because I didn't know.
So the man across the street, you calling?
I called him daddy. And boy, my father,
When he found
later,
that
when I got
out.
older,
Right.
he said, you all kid me about that. He said, he talked like an old country pimp. George,
Right.
you still call him daddy, don't you? I said, no, I don't. Lying through my teeth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
because
sir.
I didn't want to admit to him that, you know, the times that went through. But then my grandfather knew that I was his grandson, but he didn't come tell me nothing. But now my mother's daddy, I called him grandpa too. Oh, he gave me silver dollars, man. Give me a
Right.
big old bucket of ice cream to eat when I was young. So he showed me the love. You know what I'm talking about?
He gave you a lot of love.
Oh, man, we called him Papa Dawson.
Right. Right.
So anyway, my grandfather's, it was a little girl that was his niece, and she was trying to talk to me at a young age. So he went over and told to his sister, they can't talk, they can't talk. And she said, why? That's my grandson. The blood and the blood can't mix.
Right.
So I left about years later, you know. But anyway, we had built a house in West Dallas. First grade, we lived in projects for 1 year because they had to build a house next door to my grandmother's, a brick house. Everybody in West Dallas had houses, wooden houses.
Right.
But we had a brick house,
Y'all
man.
had that brick
and
house.
back then, the streets were made out of dirt.
Dirt streets.
Dirt streets, man.
None of the cement stuff.
No, sir, no, sir. At nighttime, because we so close to the levee, there would be a lot of frogs running around because the next day they would get run over.
Right.
And then we walked barefooted in West Dallas back then. You know, so and we stunk by toes, you know, but it was regular routine, you know.
Right.
And back then they had scorpions.
Oh, the scorpions on the ground? when y'all
Yes,
walking?
but they don't have them now because the concrete, you know, the environment has changed so
It done
much.
changed. Right. Right.
You know, so they had tadpoles, you know, and crawdads.
Christ, I don't even know what those are.
Man, I seen them, man. I seen them come out the holes, man. You know, anyway.
Right.
Outhouse.
Oh, yeah, the outhouses too, man. Oh, yeah, let me come tell you about that story. As I got older, if you had a birthday, I'll celebrate my birthday with you. I'll celebrate your birthday with you. Because my mother told me, she said, Wimsky? She twists my name up.
Right.
She says, you know, you almost wasn't born. I said, what you mean I almost wasn't born? I was trying to get a coat hanger and hit that bag. I say, what?
Put the coat hanger in to
Hit the bag and bust the bag where the liquid
Right.
come out. And the baby
Right.
come out with the liquid.
Oh my goodness.
And
Yeah.
then my son reminded me about the outhouses. Look here, wasn't no commodes. Guess what would ate me up?
The
Maggots in the
maggots and
outhouse.
stuff.
When you
Yeah.
find set a light down there, you see the maggots. They all over everything.
Right.
Oh man, they ate me. I said, man. So when somebody tell me about the birthday, I'll celebrate it with you. I'll buy you a cake, ice cream. I'm happy to celebrate it with you because I'm enjoying life just to be here.
Right.
And so my mother married the man across the street. He was from Sulphur Springs, Sulphur Bluff. Not just Sulphur Springs, deep in the country.
Deep in there.
Sulphur Bluff was like the city, but Sulphur Springs was the city, but Sulphur Bluff was the country part.
Right.
And so he came to live with his uncle across the street. And so he looked similar to my dad. I guess if you couldn't have Coca-Cola, you have imitation Coke. You know, because my dad was a real thing.
Right.
But he was like,
Yeah.
he's same height, same complexion, they about the same age.
I believe you said your dad. You said he worked for NASA too, right?
Yeah, my dad, he worked for, I had my mother and my father, and I'm gonna get back to the storyline in a minute.
Right.
When I was born. I went to Houston for this company, a fabric company, and they gave me a good time van to drive. So my mother was down there for something, medical stuff she was doing. My
Right.
father lived in Houston because he worked for NASA. So I got them together in the van. And the first time I had my parents together, ever, one time. And so now my mother, she would bogart every man I knew. Jump all on his back and jump on my cousin, jump on him and make him, get off me, Dory, get off me, Dory. Fight him, knock him down to the ground.
Right.
She's a tomboy. But when she got in the car in that van with my father,
Your real father.
yes, he says, ain't that right, Dora Pearl? Yes, Henry. I said, girl, I can see it. What is this flip of the corner is this here?
Right.
A whole about face. I ain't never seen her submit to no man, but she submitted to my father. Because she loved him.
Right.
You know, my father was like I can't say it was a power like what is it? Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
Yeah, whatever he laid his head was at home. I can't call him that, but he was a handsome man.
How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I got a brother and sister in Maryland. I got an older brother live in Forney. I never met him, but I met the brother and sister in Maryland.
Right.
And I would have two sisters. Jason met the two sisters because he went to live with my father in Poteet by San Antonio, strawberry land, where they grow strawberries at. So he met the two sisters from Kansas. But my father never claimed the two sisters from Kansas. I don't think they mind, Joe. I don't think they mind. So he never wanted me to meet them, so I didn't, never meet him.
Rolling Stone, though.
Yeah, you won't hear me. But he was a handsome man.
Right.
So, the women, my aunt used to tell me, I used to tell her all the time that Henry, them girls is talking to her boyfriend. And she used to tell me, my mother used to always say, he'll be here tonight about 9 o'clock. I ain't worried about that. He's coming on in. So my mother didn't care.
Right.
She loved him, And if you in a relationship, for you to love somebody, you're going to produce a child.
Right.
Because a child comes out to love. So anyway, my father went to the Air Force, and I never heard from him again. So I found out my mother used to play the piano. She used to play the piano.
Your mom played the piano?
Yes, sir. And she played an old tune called Blue Moon. Blue Moon. And she played it, but she had a piano stool, and the seat raised up. So one day I was about 7 years old. I raised the seat up. I saw the wedding license. It says July the 3rd, 1957. I said, wait a minute. I was born July the 5th, 1956. I said, something wrong with this picture. But I didn't question it, but I knew something. I said, wait a minute, this don't look right. And then one day my stepfather would sit on the washing machine, and he had just whooped me. But he would come to me, he calmed me real good, man. He said, did I hurt your feeling back then in the day? We cry like this, we suck up. Yeah, you hurt my feelings.
Right.
And he'd get in my face, well, I meant to hurt your feelings. Oh, man, he turned, I said to myself, this can't be my daddy.
Right.
The way he done it,
And that was a birth certificate. You say you found a birth certificate under your mother's piano, and this is
under the piano stool.
Under the stool.
The seat was raised up.
So you're growing up right now thinking that the guy in Dallas, thinking the guy across the street is your father.
And he moved, and then when we got the brick house built, he moved in. He married my mother.
Right.
And so I'm thinking that he was my real father.
Right, the whole time.
They never told me nothing different.
But that birth certificate kind of...
Yeah, it opened my eyes just a little bit, but my grandmother, she spilled the beans. She told me one day she had my uncle, which was my mother's brother, he had 5 children.
Right.
And Sharon and me, we the oldest. We the firstborn. And so Sharon is a year older than me. She used to always tell me, now look at Ken folks. You got me in that math. Because my father was in a math competition at Booker T.
Right.
In 12th grade. So I can remember 40 telephone numbers. I mean, numbers like this here in my mind, ain't no problem.
Right.
And so I inherited that from him. But I always thought that my mother was smarter than my father because I know, but I couldn't find out. I beg to differ. My dad worked for NASA.
Yeah, he worked for NASA.
Let me tell you what he did about NASA. I'm going to come back to the storyline. They asked me, say, Miller, we're going to have to scuttle this spaceship from going up, and we're going to lose millions of dollars because it's going to be a delay.
Right.
So he said, wait a minute now, we just need one component. So my father, Henry Miller, went to Radio Shack and bought some type of component and brought it back. He said, now, Miller, are you sure it's going to work? He said, yeah, man, it's going to work. He said, well, it's going to be on you if it don't work. He said, it's going to work.
And this is your father talking to the NASA people.
Yes, in Houston. When they say, Houston, we have a problem.
Right.
My father heard all that. And he was there when that stuff was going on, when they going up and coming back down.
Right, right.
Hoping and praying that everything goes successful. So my father put the component up in there, and it worked. And to his surprise, the astronauts came back, and they all of them took a picture. They signed on there, to Henry Miller with love. And each astronaut put the name on there. 4 of them,
Right.
And so I had that picture. I saw that picture. And he had my father had a bunch of accolades. He was a Buffalo soldier in the parade in San Antonio. I went down there one year, and I let my son go down there to stay with him one summer.
Right.
And so I went down there to meet my son and bring him back home. And he had some horses. He built his own house, man.
Your father.
Yes, in Poteet, Texas, a suburb of San Antonio, where they grow strawberries at.
Right.
And so he said he had a son that was adopted, and he says he was my father married a lady from Taiwan. She's like a beauty queen, man. When I first seen her picture.
Your father married a lady from Taiwan.
Yes, but they adopted a kid because she couldn't have no. But the kid was black and Taiwanese.
Right.
So I about to tell you that boy standing like my daddy and look and post up like my daddy and look like my daddy more than I did because my daddy raised me.
Oh, okay. So you had to.
So children, they mimic.
Right.
You know, they mimic, you know. So anyway.
Now your uncles, you had some uncles, some stories about your uncles as well.
Oh, well, I'm going to get to that after this here.
Right.
Now check this out. So my father had some horses down there.
Right.
He said, George, you know anything about horses? He didn't know that when I was a teenager, no, I wasn't even a teenager, 10, 11, 12 years old. I used to ride horses with white boys on the levee. My grandmother bought me 2 horses. One was called Crooked Foot. He was a nice, thick horse, but his foot went lame. So he walked with Crooked. But I rode him anyway, my first horse. Then later on, I got Black Beauty. And Black Beauty was my horse, man. So I would wear a bareback, no saddle. And so I got 2 white boys. I went to school with their sister, Sid Lanier, and they were brothers. They had little stallion ponies. And so we used to ride the levee, man.
Right.
When I went to ride with them. And so they always rode, but we had fun riding them horses. So, and the horses, once you get them, my father used to like to ride his horse, like make him dance, because he's in Buffalo Parade, Buffalo Soldier.
Oh, he was a Buffalo soldier.
Yeah,
so
he wanted to make his horse dance.
Right.
I like the full gallop, you know. And that Trinity River, it's a lot of land back there. You can get that full gallop going, you know.
Right.
So anyway, he said, George, talking like an old country pimp.
Your dad.
He dragged your name, George. You know, your mother married a parking lot attendant. I said, why are you telling me that, man? As I got older, he tell me that, you know, once we had a relationship.
Right.
I said, man, I had nothing to do. But it was like an insult to him, you know, because he had so much intellect, you know.
Right.
And so, and he knew my mother was smart too.
Right.
So she had her own home health business in the end. And she died at 58 years old, God bless her soul. But anyway, he said, George, I can't get these horses. I can't get my son to get the horse, make the horse act right. So you know anything about horses? I said, man, I rode horses. He said, George, come on, man, you a city boy. I said, he don't know nothing about me. I said, let's sell him up, man.
Right.
So he sold his horse up. I sold I guess stepbrother's horse up. And we went riding. And so I said, man, let's race, man. First I got on the horse. And he didn't want to act right. Man, a horse is like a woman. You got to let her know. Hey, wait a minute. I'm the man.
Right.
If you don't let her know you're the man, she'll run over you like night and day.
Right.
Now, I'll get to the pimping game in a minute because that was back as I learned how to do that after I got my heart broke. But anyway.
Okay, yeah, we got to get into that
all
for
right,
sure.
Now, check this out. Now, I didn't learn the game to play it.
Right.
I learned the game so it wouldn't get played on me. I could recognize it.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't get played on me. So here we go. So we get in the horses and we racing, right? No, before we race, I got on the horse. He was acting up. I said, whoa, hold, kick him again, let's go. Whoa, hit him with them whips, because I'm a horse man. My daddy didn't know. And I said, you want to race? He said, yes, race, man. So he got big old, we race. And I'm all right. I get the lead. And at the end, I think he won a little bit. It was real close.
Right.
And then 6 months went by. He called me on the phone. To my surprise, he says, George. I said, what's up, Miller? Now, my son, Jason couldn't call him Miller. Or he'd get mad. He said, my name is Grandpa Jason.
Your daddy called you George.
George. Just like old country pimp. Yeah. George.
So
man,
did your daddy do any pimping? I mean, because the way he actually talked.
No.
Oh, he didn't. It's just the
when
way his swagger was.
When he found out that I was had inherited some of that, I said, well, he wasn't around to raise me, so I had to do what I had to do.
Right.
But now, when I get to that level, I'm going to tell you what level I was on, because there's different levels of pimping.
Right, right, right.
All right.
And
I never sold no raw meat. I advertised meat.
so your name, I'm sure by the time you got to the level of the pimping, your name was
Wimp to pimp.
Wimp the Pimp. Wimp the Pimp.
Okay.
How'd you get that?
Well, I got a partner named D-Town.
D-Town.
I called him D-Town, and he says, Wimp Dog. And then he started changing it to Wimp the Pimp. He told me, he said, man, back in the day, we was players, but you trying to teach us, how to be players. We didn't know how to be players, but you trying to teach us how to be players. And I understand it now, as he got older,
Right.
And so my father said, George, do you know that horse that you rode? I said, what about him? He said, man, since you rode that horse, my son can ride the horse with no problem now. You tamed that horse. I said, that's good to hear, Miller. That's good to hear.
So I keep hearing you say you calling your real dad Miller. Did it ever get to a point to where you would call him dad, or did you
Never.
always?
Well, when my stepfather died, this is so profound that you say that. My stepfather died at 77 years old. My real father, he was the same age, so he
Right.
died at 80. So on Father's Day, I called my real father,
Right.
and I said, I called him, he lived in San Antonio. I have a 5-minute break between Sunday school and church. I called my dad. I said, what's going on, Daddy? He didn't say nothing for about 10 seconds. I said, you my dad, ain't you? Yeah, I'm your daddy. Because I never called him that.
Right.
I always called him Miller.
And this is after your
Yeah, the demise of my stepfather.
Okay.
Yes. And so I called him Daddy, and he couldn't believe it. But he had earned the name.
right.
And it wasn't because my stepfather died. I could have been doing it, But he finally graduated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He got his stars and stripes, so he finally graduated.
Right.
Because one time when the police jumped on me, he got me out of jail. And that was a surprise to me. Because I sent my son Jason to the white girl to get me out.
Right.
She was a school teacher. Oh, man. That school teacher, man.
So the police jumped on you, and your dad, your real dad, Miller, that you call Miller, he actually got you out of jail.
I called Jason. I said, say, Jason, go to the school teacher, man. She live in Carrollton, and get that bond money to get me out of jail. Jason, Daddy, I went down there. She answered the door. I don't know what's going on. I said, call your grandpa, man. I never asked him for nothing, never in life. Because when he came down to visit me, I didn't want him saying that, oh, every time I see my son, he begging.
Right.
No, I would give him herringbone silver. I would give him leather coats, I always give him something.
Right.
You know what he told me one time? He said, George, all my life I've had to bow down to the segregation. And I always had to do what the society say do because I was a black man.
Right.
He said, but George, you work for yourself, man. And I really look up to that. And it kind of made me kind of feel, like, because I was always an entrepreneur.
Right.
It made me feel like, maybe I have accomplished something in life because he told me, he said, man, I always had to work.
So now I know the police had jumped on you before, and you actually end up going to court with them. Was that the time that you called your father, or was that another time police jumped on you?
Well, I had 2 occasions when they jumped on me.
2 cases.
Yeah, the first time was Rodney King at my grocery store. When January 6th, they came to my store. My son was 11 years old.
So you had a store, and the police came into your store.
Yes, and they came in there talking about, because I raised about 40 young teenagers. And I used to have mopeds.
Right.
I raised 2 stepsons and my son. And so they was popular. So they had other friends that they had. So we always had I let them ride mopeds, let them play the video games for free. So, and the police thought I had them selling drugs.
Oh.
It was about 9, 11 of them. And that wasn't the case.
Right.
But they, in their minds.
Successful black man with his own store. So they suspect, okay, he's getting this money through some illegal.
And it wasn't the case at all. And so one day they came in there. They never come in my store.
Right.
And I kept a short holster on, always. And I kept a 12 gauge behind the counter. So they came in and said, sir, Someone called the police here. That was in 1991, January 6th. Never forget as long as I live. And Rodney King kicked off in March. And I wrote his shirt test later on. I'll tell you that in a minute.
Right.
And so January 6th, 1991, they came in the store at nighttime. I was going to close up about an hour anyway. I was just letting the kids play the video game and enjoy themselves. And so they said, sir, someone called the police, said someone broke into your store. I said, yeah, about 3 days ago. Did you see a big hole in the back there? They came to the back hole back there with a fan be out, took the air out. They came in that way. I found who done it. I jumped on the guy. You know, my uncle used to work in the store for me in the daytime. You mentioned my 2 uncles, right?
Yes.
Gangsters.
Your uncles.
Oh, man. You don't even want to know.
I do want to know.
Man, my uncles was 2 gangsters, man.
So your uncle, the ones that would sometimes work for your store.
Yeah, his name was Fat Dad.
Fat Dad.
We called him Fat Daddy.
Fat Daddy.
I would just give him 2 packets of Winston long cigarettes.
Right.
I take about a 7-8 hour break, go home, be with my fiance. I got a daughter by her. And so he gave me, I had to keep a store open 7 days a week.
Right.
And so.
So even though Fat Daddy, your uncle, was at the store, somebody still attempted to break.
Well,
into
they would break in at nighttime.
Oh, at nighttime. Okay.
So I used to keep my dogs up in there. I had 2 dogs called Dobie and Rocky.
Right.
So I would keep the dogs inside the store at nighttime. So they would people see the dogs in there, they wouldn't come in after they had broke in. You know what I'm talking about? So I told the police, I said, man, they broke in, but I didn't nobody call the police. And then, well, you know, they looked behind some cereal boxes and they found some tweed. Mm-hmm. They looked at me, that wasn't none of mine. They choked me till I passed out, man. Let me tell you what they did.
So the police that came into your shop saying, hey, we thought somebody broke in, we heard somebody broke in.
I showed them to the back.
Show them to the back.
And then, before you know it, they went behind a cereal box.
Right.
And I said, hey, man, that's not none of mine. And then, this is what they did to me, Chief. They used me for a crash test dummy. Back then, they used to train the police officers to chokeholds.
Right.
So now he had to try it on somebody in real life. So I was the crash test dummy.
So,
yeah.
So
Officer Morgan was a rookie.
So they done got their training, and they just decided to use you as the crash.
Yes,
oh, my
sir.
goodness.
Yes, sir. I'm going to tell you what they did.
Right.
The guy with the big shoulder, the big arms, Hack Bar.
Right.
He came up on me. He grabbed me up under my neck.
Right.
And then the rookie, Officer Morgan, picked my feet up. So they just sort of blood won't flow.
So
yeah,
they doing a whole
training,
a live training.
Took me till I passed out, man.
God,
I'm on the floor.
Lee.
My kids looking at me like, what's going on?
And this is in front of the kids.
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what happened with that. So I'm on the floor. And I'm knocked out, man. I don't know where I'm at. When I wake up, for a bunch of needles hit my legs and arms.
Yeah.
Needles, man. I come to, I say, where am I at?
Right.
I'm in my own store, man. So I get up, don't know where I was, and then they handcuffed me. They don't tell me I had a sawed-off shotgun behind the counter. I'm gonna tell you that story for a minute. The gun was legal, but I let this guy in a wheelchair, it was angled.
Right.
Let me straighten that up for you. It was 1/8 of an inch too short. He filed it down and made it too short. They got me on technicality. Anyway, when I come to, I'm handcuffed. They lined all them 9 children up against the soda water machines. They say, son, now if you got any weapons on you, I'm gonna take the N-word, well, I call it a neighbor, take it to the back of the store and beat it out of you. That kid ain't had no weapons on him. He went to the next boy. Son, N-word, called him the real word.
Right, right.
And I'm gonna take, and these kids now.
And what year, do you know what year this is?
1991, January 6th, and I'll never forget how long I lived.
Okay.
So anyway, he said, I'm taking you back to the store and beat it out of you, man. Call me N-word.
Right.
I'll say neighbor, but you know what I'm talking about.
I got you.
And so anyway, and then my ring, this ring right here, I got it in 1985 from my fiance, a friend of hers. Anyway, I'm handcuffed, so I take my ring, I'll let it hit the floor because I got to burn out.
Right.
I burn out with my jewelry. I use jewelry like a collateral.
Okay. So
And
back then you could use your jury to bond out of jail.
And so I told my son, I said, Jason, get my ring, Jason. Do you know that police cocked the gun in? Cocked it. Put the ring down in word. I said, man, this is ridiculous, man. So he put a post gun would have went off
Right.
on the kid. So I ended up going to jail, bonded out, and then.
And they didn't get in any sort of trouble for the conduct that they did there, pulling the gun on a kid, putting you in a chokehold.
Back then, it wasn't cameras.
Okay.
But somebody told me to go to this man who had power back then.
John Walter Price.
That's him. No, before him.
Oh, Al Lipscomb.
Al Lipscomb.
Al Lipscomb.
So I went to City Hall.
There's a street called Al Lipscomb in South Dallas.
Sure
now.
is. He look here. At one time he had a lot of pull. So I went to him. I talked to one of his people. He said, "Man, we should just go to internal affairs
Right.
and sign a complaint." So I go right out of full statement what happened, and then I did. And then the next day, I did a press conference in my grocery store, man. Channel 8 News, Channel 4, Channel 5 News, they all down there, man. And I got a neck brace on. And I'm telling what happened, the story. But I did that about 2 months later because Rodney King had got jumped on that same year.
So Rodney King got jumped on, and then you got jumped on.
I got jumped on first.
Oh, you got. So you the original DOC and the original Rodney King.
You don't hear me. You don't hear me. And then later on, I wrote his shirt tail because he got popular.
Right.
So I wrote his shirt tail. I'm the Dallas Rodney King.
Right.
You talking about? Man, come in and choke me out for no reason. Call my kids the N-word. Cut the gun on my son for no reason. What's wrong with these people here, man? And they supposed to protect and serve. Protect and serve. I got served all right. Okay.
Right.
So when on the morning news, back then we don't have the newspaper anymore. You flip it over. I went on the front page, but on the flip side, black store owner, a man store owner, get assaulted by the police department, choked out till he passed out. And I don't know if they mentioned the N-word about the children, but it was a big old.
So in the newspaper, they will mention the N-words at times too. So the newspapers would have the N-word in there.
Well, I know one thing. If you go downtown to the library and go back to 1991 and go back about 2 or 3 months later, you'll see me riding around in King shirt tails. Because
Right.
I said, they did him like that. I said, well, I'm going to build up my set off of him. And what I
Right.
did. Man, Channel 4, Channel 5, Channel 8 News. And then this was the sad part about it.
Right.
After they did that to me, Chief, the police would come by my store and shine a spotlight at nighttime and run my customers off, man.
Oh, yeah, they were trying to scare you as well.
Yeah, and run my customers off, man. People say, I ain't going back up there no more. And then the neighborhood, the children, the mothers would blame me. I ain't got them kids doing nothing.
Right.
But because the way it looked. See? The way it looked.
Exactly.
You know?
And I'm sure in the papers, they probably put, potentially was having, did they try to make you look bad in the papers?
They couldn't
as
do
well?
that because they had, only charge they had on me was a sawed-off shotgun.
Right.
Well, no other charge.
Right.
And it was 8th of inch too short. But my lawyer was trying to wiggle that out of them so much. He said, well, I guess if it's 8th of an inch, 8th of an inch. What can you do about that?
Right.
So they gave me probation,
So that was the first time where the officers jumped on you.
Yes.
Now, another time the officers jumped on you, did that make the paper as well? Because
Watch this here. See, God is so good to me. Rodney King drowned that year, 2012.
Right.
They assaulted me June the 19th, 2012. 12 years ago, coming up this in June.
Right.
12 years.
And it's the second time.
The second assault. Okay? Now, I'm not in West Dallas anymore. I moved up here up on the hill.
Right.
But now I come to find out that if you go across 4th Avenue, you're in Oak Cliff. But this side of 4th Avenue, you're in West Dallas still. I said, I'm still in West Dallas.
Right.
So anyway, I'm coming home one night to my friend's house, and I got my bodyguard with me. He's a Puerto Rican guy. And it's June the 19th, about 10:30. And I would have turned down here about Audis down here if the light was green, so I just kept straight. But if it was red, I turned in, and this never would happen. Because they messed my sight up the way they tased me, man. Let me tell you how it went. So I went through the light. As I went through the light, I got the video tape of the police officers when they was in the car. I got everything from them, from my attorney.
Right.
And they playing, we will rock you, rock you. They getting hyped already, man, before they even see me.
Right.
So I'm coming down in a little mask, my headlight is dim on the driver's side. So they at the turning lane, sitting there, facing downtown. I come by, he put a spotlight on me. I said, oh man. I looked in the rearview mirror, I said, they turn around, and then you got U-turn will speed up. So I sped up and I come down the street. Now I got enough sense to know they're gonna jump on me or even stop me on a dark street. So I let my church partner, elderly man, he lived from Alabama. He built him a house in South Dallas. While he built his house, he stayed with me for about 3 months.
Right.
And so I had to put in my neighbor's yard next door. I put in my neighbor's yard. They tell me, I get out the car. Microphone, get back in the car. I said, I got out my car, got my ID, man, what's going on? I get back in the car. They come to the car, chief, and put a gun to my head and put a 12 gauge in my Puerto Rican's chest. My daughter in the back seat, 3 years old, I want my daddy, crying and going on. And so they get me out the car, yank me out the car. I finally when I get up, then they hit me with a taser, man.
So they didn't do no questions, really. They came to the car, guns out, pointing at you while your daughter's in the back seat.
3
pulled
years
you out
old.
the car.
Yes. So they hit me with the taser. And then, 50,000 volts, man. They hit me right here, and my foot went in the air like a frog, and the electricity came out the bottom of my foot. It went in the air, man, by itself. Electricity came out the bottom of my foot, and then they hit me with it again. Oh, man, by this time, I knocked, the taser got 2 prongs, 1 negative, 1 positive. I knocked it down like a bee sting. And then, but it still affected me, right? Electricity came out of my foot again.
Now, were they saying, stop resisting, stop resisting?
No, it wasn't none of that. That's what they did.
Right.
I don't know what resisting.
I know.
They're gonna tell they gave me 3 trumped-up charges. They said the police on his arm, and never happened. Or he hit the police. My bodyguard was found with some tweed.
Right.
And they said it was mine. It wasn't mine. They dropped the hit on the arm charge, dropped the tweed charge.
Right.
And then they say that I was when you run from the police,
Resisting or
No,
fleeing,
no.
eluding, evading.
evading arrest.
So they done tasered you.
Man, when they found out I live next door, I'm getting home.
Right.
You know, so they tried, and that was the last charge was a felony, big time felony.
Right.
Had to get all 3 charges dropped just to get the lawsuit. Now watch this here. So they tased me second time.
And this is right outside of your home. This one here.
My next door neighbor.
Right outside your home.
I'm in the driveway
It's your
because
next door neighbor.
my driveway had a truck in it.
Right.
The churchman truck. And so they handcuffed me. And if I tell you the God is so good to me, for the camera, the police got to protect themselves in case somebody assault them or shoot them. It's on.
Right.
And so many, 2 feet just enough to be seen. 2 feet back, I never would have been seen. Okay? I was on the news. I told him on the news, I say, man, God had his hand on me because 2 feet up, I was in it just enough. But 2 feet back, you just would have heard my voice.
Right.
So they put me on my knees. I'm handcuffed now. I'm facing my house this way. Put me on my knees. I'm handcuffed. This guy, when the police officer do a running kick like he finna kick a field goal. Boom! Kicked me in the back of my head, man. My head flew everywhere and gave me whiplash immediately.
Right.
Because when I finally came on the next day after getting out of browning out, you know, you turn the pillow is cold on one side.
Yes.
You want to turn it over. It's warm from being when you want the cold side. I couldn't move the pillow, man. I was in such agony, man.
You was in that much
They
pain.
broke my neck.
Yeah, but I was about to say, did something break on you?
Yeah, my neck bone, from the bone to my neck to the backbone to my neck bone, is a big old nut right there, right today.
Now, did they get this part on camera, the kick part on camera as well?
Yes.
Oh,
and
my
the police
God.
chief asked the officer, say, sir, why did you kick that man? Oh, police chief, he tried to get up. He said, I'm looking at it plain today. He's not trying to get up. He said, how do you think that make us look? That make us look real bad. Okay? Now watch this here now. So they threatened to hog tie me, man. Okay?
After they've already tased you, kicked you.
Yes. They put me on my stomach. They put me on my stomach, man. This is kind of humiliating. They put me on my stomach. I'm on my stomach. I'm already handcuffed here.
Right.
They finna put handcuffs on my ankles. They finna put a chain through it and draw it up.
Right.
And then they throw you like a suitcase. But then The guy got my arm. This what got me, Chief. The guy got my arm, did like some wire pliers. Put him up above my back of my head, behind my back. He wanted me to tap out. Say, Uncle, I want to give him pleasure. You hear me?
They wanted you to tap out.
Yeah, man. Oh, man, let me go. I give up. I followed all the scenes when people got police assaulted between 2012 up to today. Something they do to lose. Remember the guy with the cigarettes, the Lucy's? Haven't said dude in New York.
Which one?
Haven't said dude in New York. The little bitty policeman jumped. I'm choking, man. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
George Floyd?
No, not George Floyd. We ain't got to him yet. He's a major one.
Oh, okay.
If you haven't said dude in New York, he was selling some cigarettes at the stadium. I can't breathe, man. Then what about in St. Louis, Missouri, Ferguson?
Oh yeah.
They left that boy in the street dead, man.
Right.
For hours.
Mike Brown.
Yes, they didn't
Mike
cover
Brown.
him up. Look, you cover up a dead animal, man.
Right.
They didn't cover that boy. I said, man, this is sickening because I covered every case.
Right.
And so they threatened to hog tie me. They want me to tap out. Oh, man, please let me. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction.
So you just taking the beating,
Had
not
to
doing
take it.
no tapping out.
That's right. That's right.
And your home, right outside of your own home,
Yes,
in
sir.
your neighbor's yard.
Yes, sir. And watch this here. They put me in a police car. I said, man, let my bodyguard go. He ain't done nothing. They got him on the ground. They put a shotgun in his chest. They got him on his ground. He had just had stitches in his thumb. And he says, spit the drugs out. He said, I ain't got no drugs in my mouth. He had grass in his mouth from the ground. He always kidded me about it right today. He said, man, I wish my breath was so bad. I make him spit my breath and spit. But he had nothing on him, man.
Right.
And then they got my daughter back seat in the video on the news. It says, my daddy, I want my dad. She's crying.
I can imagine she's out there crying. I mean, she done seen you get tased, kicked, your back, your neck broke. I believe you say somewhere on your bone next to your neck.
They did my arms like wire plows, man.
Your arms.
Put them, they can put them, man. They want me to tap out, man. I wouldn't do it, man. I had too much humanity in me to tap out. I wasn't gonna do it, man.
Yeah.
But I just took the beating, man, the suffering.
Sound like they should have been signed up for the wrestling, WWF or something.
Man, 3 years before they got to me, my defense attorney showed me a stack of papers who complained against these officers.
All this.
And she said, she read one person's name. She said, Cecil Dale Hill. Man, that was my drum captain at Pinkston.
Your drum captain?
Yes, he was a senior. I was a freshman.
Right.
He wrote the music, man. Smart. He went to the military, and he got schizophrenic. He seen too much. Some people can't handle death. He saw too much. He used to work across the Teamston Bridge with an army coat on in the summertime.
Right.
But he's still my friend, okay?
Hold on. The officer.
One of the officers that assaulted me,
Right.
assaulted him, killed him 3 years before they got to me. Watch how they killed him. He was a CVS on Hampton and Jefferson.
Right.
He used to go at nighttime. They knew the night shift knew him. He went on the daytime shift. So they get a phone call from the police department. We have a black suspect. We don't know if he's stealing or what. The police came there, man. They gonna tell me he jumped on the taser. Who jumps on the taser?
Yeah.
They hog-tied him for sure.
Oh my gosh.
He died 3 days later in Methodist with his shoulder arm put out a socket, man. Pull out the socket. When that's what they did, Chief. They got him off his knees. And when they got him off his stomach, being hog-tied, they left him down there too long. So this is what they'll do. After they got this to do the victim, a so-called victim,
Right.
they take cigarette breaks and drink sodas, because they did me the same way. And then, when they took him off his stomach, his eyes rolled the back of his head, man. No oxygen to the brain. You understand me? Mm-hmm. So he died 3 days in the hospital.
Sandra Bland, that was another lady.
I know about them all.
Looked like the eyes was the back of her head when they took her picture inside of the jail. So
I followed all of them, man. I followed them all because I wanted to know what's going on in this nation.
right.
And why is always the black people get assaulted, especially the black man. And then some of the women weren't exempt. A woman in Kentucky,
Right.
they shot in the wrong house and
Oh yes. I
killed
remember
her.
that. Yep, I
Some
remember
woman
that.
was in her house in Fort Worth. They walked by the window, thought she was trying to do something, killed her.
Right.
So man, this is a sickening, man. So anyway, I'm in the police car. They stopped at 7-Eleven down here on Hampton and Fourth Avenue. They go and get down. They waiting for the shift to change, so they go in there, get down some drinks and stuff. And so I hear them. They left me in the car for about 40 minutes to shift change. And then they take me downtown.
They left you in the car for 40 minutes.
Yes, sir.
After tasing you,
Yes,
kicking
sir.
you.
To the shift change. And so.
And where's your daughter at during this time?
Well,
Just still
they let me bring my daughter home. This is ironic you said that.
Right.
Let me bring my daughter home to the guy that was here. My brother stayed here with me.
Because you're right outside of your home.
Yes, and so watch, when we get downtown, what they threatened me with, watch this here. So we get downtown, they got to put the guns inside the trunk before they go upstairs, right?
Right.
I can hear them talking. They don't know I can hear them talk. Here they go. They taunting me. Man, when last time you tased somebody? Man, it's been a while, man, but I had a good time tasing this one right here. I had a good time. Because, man, it was good for me, too. So I got the car, I said, oh, y'all bragging about, I'm handcuffed. Well, y'all bragging about how y'all tasing me, huh? Shut up before we call CPS on you. Threatening me with CPS with my 3-year-old daughter, man.
Wow.
Yeah, man, that's how they do, man. Corrupt, man. And so they get me upstairs. I go to the medical hospital. You hear me, Chief?
Yes.
And so I go to the medical hospital. They did my x-rays and stuff, and man, I'm throwing up. Then they put me in an isolated unit to where people who've been ill before,
Right.
isolated unit. And so I mean, they got two first story, second story. Anyway, I'm throwing up.
Right.
You know, I tell my son, man, get better.
So they took you up to medical,
Yes.
and from medical,
I'm throwing up, man. And the guy that was in charge of the medical, he said, say, man, go and go to the infirmary, man, because you don't belong up here, because, you know. And what they did was they put me on an orange suit.
right.
But they didn't tape up to where where you got taser that. They put a Band-Aid on that. So the orange suit was dirty with bacteria.
Right.
So my blood was getting that bacteria from the orange suit. Staph infection. It was going down my leg and
Right.
back up. It hit up under my kneecap. So when I got to the hospital, I got to talk to myself. I said, Jason, get the school teacher, man, the white girl to bond me out, man. Dad, I went over there that morning, I couldn't find him, man. I don't know what's going on. I said, call Miller. It was my last resort. I said, call my daddy, man. Call Miller, man.
Right.
And so Miller sent me $500. Now this was real for him. He sent me $500 to Jason. And when I got out with the family reunion, I gave him his money back because I felt that was more than right.
Now this is when you called Miller on this one. This is the second,
Second one, yes.
Second one, right?
Yes,
Okay.
okay. And so Miller got me out. And so I got the charges. So I was in the hospital at the infirmary in Lew Sterry.
Right.
And so I got out of there, and man, my knee was just freaking big, man, infected, okay? And so my friend, Double D, I'm gonna tell you about him in a minute, a story about him at the grocery store.
Right.
Double D, I said, man, can you drop him off to the hospital? He said, Doc, I'll be over in the morning, drop you out. He came, got me early that morning, dropped him off at Parkland. I was in the hospital 3.5 weeks, man, 3.5 freaking weeks, man, trying to recover, man, from what they had done to me, man.
Wow.
Yeah, 3.5 weeks. And when I got home, Jason was here. I had to go, they operated on my knee because they just peeled it back to get the infection out. And my wound started healing a little at a time, but I was so torn, man. I was broken almost from the inside. I had to get on Jason, just go to the restroom, man.
Right.
Help me to the restroom.
So your son Jason's having to help you to the restroom.
Yes, and I had to take a bath in a little bucket.
Right.
No.
Oh, and you had so after they tase you, kick you down, beat you up, threaten to call CPS on your daughter.
Yes.
Finally get you to the nursery, and while they're doctoring you up, they forget to put the bandage on you, which then caused you to get a staph infection, which traveled down to your knee, and it's just all bad from there.
I got bones that's located right here. I got my collarbone broken. I got 2 parts. You have 1 part in your chest.
Yes.
I got 2 parts in my chest, 2 lines. Cause they crushed me like a beer can, man.
Right.
Okay. And then then on top of all that, they want to taunt me, man. Shut up! If we call the CPS on you. You know. I said, CPS for what? Cause you had my daughter in the car.
Right.
So I got all the charges dropped, thank God for that. But I was in the picture just enough. I see on the news, Channel 11 News, I said, man, that was God. Because 2 feet back, you never would have seen, you just heard my voice, you know.
So you got those charges dropped, and I know you said in order to do a lawsuit on them, they said you had to have all your charges
That's
dropped.
right, that's
So
right.
were you ever able to get any type of retribution?
Well, I sued them in the long run, but the lawsuit started off with $750,000
Right.
as a minimum. But in this, I want to try to explain something to you, and it may not sound right, but in the South, a black man is kind of like, you know, non-existence. They got the pie, and they just gave me a slice of it.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? A slice went this way, a slice went that way, a slice went that way. If you ask me, they always in cahoots together. Okay?
Exactly. Right.
And so on both sides, the prosecutor and a lawyer had just met him, and now we're trying to be good friends. But I had just met him. You know, I had a dream about him in a dream, and the dream says, my son with me in the dream. He's sitting at a table, and he had a twin. He says, well, you know he set you up, don't you? And I said this here like naturally I would say. Well, I was more concerned about his soul than one to God than I was about him setting me up.
In your dream,
Yes.
you heard your dreams
I
is
told him
telling you they set you up.
Yes, he's like it was his twin. You know he set you up. We sit at a table. I'm sitting with him, and like his twin said, you know he set you up, don't you?
Right. And your lawyer.
Yes.
So you're inside of a dream right now, and it's like your lawyer, but his twin, and saying, you know, he set you up,
Yes,
like, as if
yes.
he's in it on cahoots too,
Yes.
to get some of that money.
Yes,
that you would
sir.
be
Yes,
getting.
sir. Yeah, he carved the pie up. Just gave me a slice. But God is so good, like I tell you.
Right.
I ended up with the money I got. I made it stretch out some type of way, you know. But God blessed me in the long run. But what I'm saying is this here, the South, man. This Texas is the South. Alabama.
Yep. It's a deep south.
Yes. There you go.
Probably one of the
Mississippi.
most south you can actually get.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so I found heal up from my wounds. And then on Halloween Day, that same year, 2012, this happened June the 19th, I basically come back, but I had a stroke, a light stroke, man. I'm outside of my yard, and all of a sudden I'm on a merry-go-round.
Right.
I'm stroking out, I don't know it. I leaned against that brick fence. I said, wait a minute, Lord, this ain't for me and you. And then I came in the house, I had diarrhea and throw up. Now, I'm going to tell you something, when you're dying, all your 12 organs,
Right.
they just,
Your bowel movements come on out.
they release themselves.
Right.
They don't have the bowel movements, throwing up. And so I'm in my defense attorneys, they gave me a defense attorney, female. I'm
Right.
in the office November the 1st. I always go back to my house back here because I got an altar back there. I would pray before I go. And so my friend went with me. He's deceased now, Spanish guy named JB. He had to go to court for something too. So we go back there and pray, and then we go to court. I'm in my defense attorney, appointed defense attorney's office. I'm having another stroke, man.
Another
in her
stroke.
office.
And this is the same year.
I'm throwing up. The same is June the 19th. This is Halloween, and this is November the 1st. Right? In my defense attorney's office, female. I won't mention her name.
And these strokes, do you believe that they are associated with the beating that you took?
I had healed mostly physically, but my eating habits wasn't right. See what I'm talking about? Too much cholesterol, too much sugar. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And then maybe not enough sleep, so all that. They told me I had blood in the back of my brain back here.
That's from that kick.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so I recovered from that. Thank God from that. It was just light strokes. I didn't have no face contortions. You know what I'm talking about?
Right, right.
And so
Blood
anyway,
clots and nothing like that in your face.
Right. So anyway, my father sent me that money, man, and he don't know, man. He became my daddy then. You know what I'm talking about? And so.
That's how your father earned
Yeah,
to be
he's
called
right.
daddy.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
By being there for you.
Yes, sir.
At that hard time.
And so flashback to the 4th grade. I'm gonna show you how fate can turn you around. Because you be thinking you're going to go one way, but fate will turn you around, you're going to go another way.
Right.
I ran track, man. In the 4th grade, I ran track against the 5th and 6th graders. I ran 100-yard dash. And so I was good because I'm running against the 5th and 6th graders. I'm in the 4th grade.
Right.
And so I was running around the school, after school one day, 3 girls was chasing me. Another guy was coming this way, and bam, I hit him in the head, knocked my tooth out, man. I split blood all the way home. I got dentures, not the dentures, but the braces.
Right.
And so I had knocked the tooth out. They said if I kept it wet, they could have put it back in, but anyway. My track day was over with then. My mother sent me to another school.
She said, yeah, you done. You knocked your teeth out, your teeth in somebody's head.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
Yeah.
And my partner, he walked me home. He ran track with me also. And he walked me home. I spit blood all the way home. And so my mother ended up sending me to take drum lessons. So that's how I ended up being with the band when I met my drum captain, Cecil Hill.
Okay.
At Pinkston. And this, matter of fact, this is my 50th reunion this year.
Okay.
My 50th class reunion. So anyway, I'm in the 4th grade when that happened. And so I get to Thomas Ellison Junior High School. And then I go to, Thomas Ellison Junior High School. I got a partner of mine. He was born July the 4th, I'm born July the 5th.
Right.
We lived 2 streets apart, and we grew up as friends. But he's a big old dude. Okay, 6'4", big chested. We walking home from school one day, from the girls' club, and this guy he used to train with the Miller boys. They was boxers, all 3 of them, the Golden Gloves.
Right.
So this guy used to be with him. He thought he was tough too. So we walking. He kicked some gravel on my partner's leg. And he said, man, you kicked some gravel on me. My partner said, man, I don't want no problem, man. Well, you got a problem, man. He started taking his coat off.
Right. And this is the guy that's boxing.
Yeah.
The boxer.
Yeah, the boxer's trainer or something.
Yeah.
He associated with them.
Associated with it, right?
Yeah. So my partner, he gave me his books, this many books. I said, man, we ain't done nothing. Here comes some problems, man. Here comes trouble. Man, if I tell you that guy, my partner beat him so bad, picked him up, hit him up the ground. Beat him so bad, I left back all the way home. And then what got me is I still would have been mad, been me fighting. Right. He turned from Superman to Clark Kent.
Right.
Okay? Thank you for holding my books, man. You know, and we walked on. We walked on.
Walked off like it's nothing.
Yes, sir. And then I'm in the 8th grade again. And this girl that I liked, and before, in the lunchroom, before the bell rang, you talk to people in the lunchroom. So this girl said something funny in front of everybody, it embarrassed me, right?
Right.
So I raised her dress up at the back.
Right.
And then, all through school, they couldn't pronounce my name right. George Pope. I said, what's going on? Man, I heard you're going to have a fight today. A fight? I don't know about no fight. I come find out she told her brother, but she was in the 7th grade.
Right.
And so, if I tell you, all day they told me about a fight. So if I tell you, when I got to school, about 100 people followed me, man.
Ready to see.
100 people following him. We met up down at the lake, down at Pimping right there in the shopping center.
Yeah.
Crowds, man, they gonna see a fight.
Right.
And so we get to fighting, and my dumb self, I went in the fight, I knocked him into the water, I'm gonna dive into him like I'm one of the movies. Well, if I tell you that water tie you out, it'll tie you out, man. Boy, look at here. I was trying to climb out of there and escape from the crowd. I climbed up the hill, and my friend, who lived down the street from me, was in the car. He said, man, who that fighting down there? I said, man, I don't know who that fighting. Can you take me home? My leg was so weak, man. I couldn't have walked home, man. I could not have walked home, man. Okay? Now, I wanted to fight.
Right.
I wanted to fight, but I couldn't have walked home, man. I was
Right.
weak legs, man. That water, man.
Right.
Oh, man. So I learned my lesson then.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
Oh, my gosh.
so later on,
Right.
I went to the fabric company. And I worked there for a number of years. I met Jason's mother.
He said, I don't know who fight. Can you take me home? Oh.
He took me home with the back seat wet, man. Okay.
Right.
So I met my son's mother. She was Italian. Now watch this here. Now I went to Pinkston 1 year, 9th grade. I got caught in integration.
Right.
Hey, since the Sunset, we the first black people at Sunset. Now we didn't sit down there with the regular people, with the whites and Hispanics. We sit up in the balcony, all the black people. That's how we sit up there. So we knew. And so we got integrated. Voice bust. Now I'm gonna tell you something. It's a shame for me to say this here. I learned more at Sunset, the white school, than I did at Pinkston, because they would have teachers at Sunset who made A's, plus, and B's.
Right.
At Pinkston, they'd made grades, but they was A minus and B plus and C's.
So you said at the white school you learn more.
Because they had the teachers.
Better teachers.
There we go. And had a teacher named Miss Howe, God bless her soul. She wanted me to learn. Right? My English language teacher. Anyway.
So were the teachers at both schools white
Well, yes, but
when it was the white?
predominantly white at Sunset.
Right.
But there were drops of white at Pinkston, okay?
Right. But most of the students at Pinkston was black or.
Oh, they was, not most, all.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. Because West Dallas Pinkston was in West Dallas, and we just walked to Pinkston, you know. And so anyway, I would do my homework. 5-minute break before class over with, I do my homework, man. While it's fresh in my mind. I get some gum and put it up on my desk. So they say, next day, you got your homework? I said, I get mine out on there and give me an A.
Right.
And so my mother used to always ask me, what's your homework, Wimpsky? She twists my name up. I said, Mom, I did my homework already. You better, because my mother, she was murder on you getting an education.
Right.
I tried stretching my grandchildren to get an education, but they barely listen. You're gonna get an education with her, because she wants you to get it.
Right.
She know what time it was, how we were disenfranchised with the jobs, lower paying jobs, so she wants to have a diploma or a degree. So anyway, I graduated midterm. I came out there in January. It was 12 of us, January 21st of 74. So, but I still celebrate Pinkston, the alumni, with them because we come back together as one unit.
Right.
About the side clock.
Oh yeah, as the Edison. Let's listen to this story here, man. The sock hockey used to cost $0.25, like a little old dance to get in. They play the music.
Right.
And so I had to walk from Hampton, go across I walked from past Hampton, go across Hampton, go to Singleton, and just almost to Westmoreland just to get to Edison. So at nighttime, they had a sock hop. Oh, I got to get there, man. Some girls gonna be there, gonna be some dancing, gonna be some entertainment.
Right.
So on my way there, I passed two gangsters walking inside this dude. He walked like this here. He had two canes. He had polio, he had been shot or something. He walked just like this here.
Right.
He had two guys, bodyguards with him. And so I passed them up. And I get to South Poppy, we dancing, having a good time. By the time he make it up there, he gets his gun out. Boom! Man, I tell you, that hole, they run out that door so you couldn't squeeze yourself through that hole, man.
Right.
About running, panic. And then he just get his gun, put it up, get his two partners walking back down to where he came from,
Right.
projects. And so after the sock was over with, I walked back home. I passed him up.
Again.
Oh yeah, man. He's so slow. He got to get there, right? Mm-hmm. And then he got to get back.
Yeah. So there's a gangster. He probably been
man,
shot
you don't want to know, man.
Yeah,
Gangster
been shot
fight,
up.
okay?
Speaking of gangsters, you said your uncles was
Oh man, you don't want to know.
gangsters.
I was at my grandmother's house. Back then we had the aluminum Christmas trees.
Right.
To where you put the light on, they turn colors. Green, the light would turn around, the tree would be green, it'd be red, the silver would pop off, right?
Right.
So I'm looking through some old magazines that my grandmother got. I see my Uncle George with my same name. He did something downtown, and to get away from police, he swam across Trinity River.
Right.
So they caught him, handcuffed him, got him on there. And my grandmother kept a picture of him in the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
I said, man, what my Uncle Jordan got famous, man? What's going on with this here? But he had a younger brother named, we called him Fat Dad.
Right. Oh, the one that used to guard your
my
shop.
grocery store. Give me a
Right.
break. So check this out. If my Uncle George hustled, I never saw him. Neither one of them never worked. They never
Right.
worked, man. So if a Fat Dad had $750 and my Uncle George had $550, he go get his wide purse and say, give me $210. He got to have more money than Fat Daddy
Right.
before the night was over with. And now,
So your Uncle George always wanted to have more money than your Uncle Fat
because
Daddy.
he was the oldest.
Right. Didn't want to let the little brother outdo him.
And come to find out, he had a different daddy. I never knew that. But he had the same last name like my mother and my uncle did.
Right.
He was the oldest, but he had a different daddy. So that pattern kept repeating itself.
Right.
So I caught it with my children. I didn't want to repeat the pattern to repeat itself. So anyway, one day my Uncle Fat Dad was watching the store for me. So this guy, I accused him of stealing my mama's car. Because he'd be jealous.
You said your Uncle Fat Daddy was watching your store?
Yeah. So I accused the guy of stealing. He lived on front street in front of the store on Last Street. I said, say, man, you stole my mama's car? No, man. No. So I come at the corner right there. I said, say, man, I think you stole my mama's car. I used to carry a pistol right there. I said, I think you stole my mama's car. No, I'm not. Pow!
Right.
I guess I got to go find it. Okay? All of a sudden, he first he had amnesia.
Right.
Now he got knowledge kit to him real fast.
Now he
okay?
done remember. You done pulled the gun
Yes,
out.
yes.
Hit him with it. He done
So
remembered it.
So I'm at the store this particular day.
Right.
My uncle watching the store for me. I come back to relieve him. This guy gonna act like he want to be tough in front of his friends. So he called me to the square. So we come out there, we fighting, like cats and dogs. I caught him with a right, knocked him down.
Now, is this when you wimpy? Is this when
Yes,
you call wimpy?
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so he wimpy D-O-double-G.
D-O-double-G, Wimp Dog.
Wimp dog, okay.
D-Town gave me that name.
Wimp dog.
And so I knocked him down. And my uncle, I gave him time to get up. My uncle said, man, you never get nobody time to get up. You stomping.
Yeah.
I gave him time to get up. I still wanted to fight. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
I want to do it like I didn't want to get down and have no wrestling match with him. So I wanted to fight. So anyway.
Fight. He ain't
Yes,
trying
sir.
to do no WWF.
Yes,
Vince McMahon.
so one day, somebody broke in my grocery store. Nighttime, they broke the window out and got all my cases of candy bars. But you talking about peed? I was peed, man. They got M&M, peanuts, Snickers, Three Musketeers. I had to buy the cases, you know. And so, now watch this here, Chief. This is where my name changed.
From what to what? From Wimp?
From Wimp Dog
Right.
to Wimp the Pimp.
Wimp the
Watch
Pimp.
this here. I said, say, man, I got $20. If somebody tell me who broke into my store. I put the word around. One time one dude said, say, man, don't tell nobody that I told you. It was him. So, now back in my day, I went on a hunt on you. I was like a bounty hunter.
Right.
I had a partner of mine, he had El Camino, and my other gangster friend, we called him Goldie.
Right.
I don't want to say his real name, because if he see this, he'll know who I'm talking about.
Right.
I always take him with me just, not to be enforceable, but just to watch my back. So we went back to El Camino, with the partner that's driving, I spotted a dude on Denison. I said, man, that guy here, he told me to broke into my store. I got out the car. I said, say, man. I said, what's up, man? I said, I heard you broke into my store, man. He said, man, I didn't. I said, Pow! Right in front of my face, his eyes.
Now, did
said-
you hit him with your hand or with a
Oh,
gun?
with that 38.
Hit it with the
No,
38.
no. I back then I had a long barrel 38. Yeah. Pow! I just come straight out with pow!
38, he'd be a young
All
boy.
of a sudden, he ain't got amnesia no more. Watch this here. He say, man, you'll find the candy bars, the case of candy bars in an orange blanket behind this certain tree. I was costing me for $20.
Right.
I got all my candy bag. I got my little plastic money, put it back in the grocery store with the regular bars, and went back to business. Okay.
Right.
Remember when make me bankrupt up here. Now watch this here with Double D. Double D the one took me to the hospital. Watch this here. So the school bus would stop in front of the grocery store. And they let the kids out. So all of a sudden, I seen a black adult and like a young teenager, about 20 years old. They grabbed this Mexican dude and laid him on the back of the car after he got off the school bus. And they went for his gold. Back then, they just snatched the gold chains.
Right. Oh, the officers would snatch your
No.
chain. Oh, just in general.
Black adult,
Right.
male,
Right.
and a black teenager, about 20-something years old, took a young Mexican dude, laid him back in his car, and was trying to take his chain, gold chain. He fighting for his gold chain. Now, in my mind, I wasn't really trying to protect the Spanish guy, or I stopped the fight. I think my mind thought like, man, you can't make no money if they start a Mexican and black war out here.
Right.
So I shot in the air, Pow! Everybody looked at me. Dude, the black dude went that way. The older black dude went that way. The Mexican dude got to straighten himself up. He went home. Flashback to years later. So I'm at my house. I need a hot water heater or something. He hooks it up for me because he's the engineer. This is years later now, 10 years later.
Right.
Maybe 15 years later. I said, say, man. He said, say, Doc. I'm Doc Holliday now, right?
You Doc, right? From Wimpy, Wimp Dog, international because the pimping. Doc Holliday.
Yeah, now I'm Doc Holliday. He said, say, Doc. I said, what's up? I call him Double D because I knew 3 Eds. One of them was named Ed with 1 D. Other name was Ed with 2 Ds, and Ed with E-D-D-Y. So I called him Double D.
Right.
So I said, say, Double D, what's going on, man? He said, say, man, you remember one time that at your store this guy was getting robbed by 2 black guys? And one was a door. I said, yeah, I remember they tried to take the guy gold chain. He said, man, that was me. I said, are you for real? He said, man, that's why if you need anything from me, man, Doc Holliday, I'll fix your water heater, hot water heater. I'll fix your plumbing. When ice storms came and my plumbing broke, he could fix it for free.
So 10 years before, they were trying to jump the Mexican guy and take his chain, which they still, today, with the rappers, they always trying to take another rapper chain. It's still the same process. But they tried to take his chain. You shot the gun in the air.
Everybody looked at me.
Right, which saved them pretty much.
They saved him. They just
took off.
In 2 different directions.
10 years later, you run into him
About
again.
12 years later.
12 years later. And he say, that was me.
I moved up here now, see.
Right.
He said, say, Doc, see, you remember that one guy a Mexican guy that he got off the school bus and they tried to rob him with his gold chain? I said, yeah, I remember that, man. I shot in the air and they took out the money. He said, say, man, that was me, man. I said, are you for real? Because we used to meet up here and play video games, football and basketball. We was into that, And so we had little tournaments. Mm-hmm. He said, man, that was me. I said, are you for real, man? He said, yeah, that was me, man. He said, man, anytime you need, if your plumbing break, he was an engineer at these buildings. I'll fix it for free, man. I said, you ain't got to fix it for free. I'll pay. No, don't worry about it, man. I owe you, man. I owe you. Because I'm going to go get my uncle. He got an uncle called Diablo.
Diablo, okay.
Yeah, that means devil in Spanish.
Yeah, that means devil in Spanish.
And so Diablo, the one that saw my sawed-off shotgun, or 8-2 shot. Mm-hmm. Cause police shot him some kind of way. He ended up burning up in. He said, "I'm gonna go get Diablo and my Uncle Pecos, and they're gonna come and do something about these people, man." Both of them are dead now, the 2 uncles. But anyway, Double D, he said, he never forgot it. And right today, he's still my friend, man. I saw him today. He always tell me, he say, man, I'm right down the street. If you ever need me, let me know. Give me a call.
Right.
So, you can't tell who your friend's going to be. And this is a true friend. Listen to me? A true friend. So anyway.
What about when the black guys took the Mexican dude's pounds? They're going to go shoot up the dude's house.
Okay.
So there was times where you had multiple times where you had to go out and hunt people down for doing stuff to you pretty much.
I was a bounty hunter,
It seems like you were, anybody did anything to you, you was going to figure it out, whether you had to pay somebody
See, West Dallas is so wild, man. And if you get a reputation that you soft,
right,
you're going to, instead of fighting 1, you're going to fight 10.
Exactly.
See what I'm talking about? So if you knock that 1 out the way, they're going to hear about it. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to say, oh, man, a wimp dog, leave him alone.
So that's that reputation you was building was getting you up to the Godfather of West Dallas.
Right.
Everything that was happening.
Now let me go back. Now the grocery store was in the 90s, but in the early 80s I had the restaurant, a fast food called Westmoreland. Let's get to that. Now check this out. So I'm working for this fabric company, and a partner of mine named Nemo. Remember Nemo, Jason? Vincent had a grocery shop?
Yeah.
Well, Nemo introduced me to your mother. Nemo had white girls, Chief. Okay?
Right.
All he had was white girls. You come visit him. He's from California. He had white girls, man. So I went to a white school.
Right.
So 2 white girls used to take me to lunch every day and take me to work release. I used to have to go to work at a radiator place. So, I was like, I wasn't infatuated with them, but I was just around them,
Right.
But when I met Vincent, we called him Nemo, had a grocery shop on Jefferson. So he had this little boy named Chef. And Chef was, his mother was white, and his father was black, but father abandoned him. So Vincent Nemo was kind of like his stepfather. He dated the mother. Now watch how strange this is, man. So I got set up on this one. And so one day a flood came, and Shaft was about 12, 13. He's playing in the flood thing, what they call it, with concrete, where the waters flow out the city.
Oh,
like a trench.
Yeah, like the little trenches.
Country be a trench.
Yeah, right, I got you. Yeah, with the
concrete, right?
Concrete, I got you.
And so it flooded, and they found Shaft drowned in the tree, man.
And who was Shaft again?
Shaft was Vincent, who was going with his mother. Shaft was black and white, nice looking boy.
Right.
I think God has a sense of humor. When the races mix, he makes the beautiful children
right.
you ever seen.
Of course. Mm-hmm.
Curly hair, and anyway, Shaft drowned it, man. So I'm on the phone getting the news about Shaft being drowned, right? I said, man, you for real? Shaft has drowned it? And the little thing, they found him in the tree, drowned it? And Vincent Hall was broke. As I'm getting this news, somebody knocked on my door. I said, what's going on? Man, your son just got hit by a Spanish guy on block over, and his bone sticking off his leg. I said, well, that's my only son I got. Are you for real? He was last day of school in the second grade, got off the city bus. And as he's going ready to cross the street, a car of illegal aliens run behind the bus, just run over him, man, and kept going.
Hit him and kept going.
When I got to his bone sticking off his leg, man, boy, I run to the hospital and took him to the hospital, so past Parkland.
And this is one of your sons, you said?
The only son I got.
Right.
Jason.
Right.
And so...
and he was doing track.
Oh, this is how good God is.
Right.
It had broke his leg above the growth plate. If it had been right under the growth plate, he'd been like one like this here, with a club foot. He ended up running track, man, been in the state in 8th grade at 1200 in the state.
Wow. So your son, even after that horrific leg injury of getting ran over, was still able to run track.
I sent him to Scotts Wright Hospital. On Maple. Mm-hmm. And right today, I thank them because they did the operation for free. They put him in a sling, put a wood across there, and his leg healed up. I used to have this man named, and he's deceased now, Mr. Friday. He was my partner, man. He had some machines that rotate your leg from the bottom and make it massages. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And so I said, Jason, let's go do some exercise today. Oh, damn, I'm tired of that. I said, man, let's go, man. We got down there. He could only bend his leg so far. I actually just bent his leg. You hear the tendons cracking. I said, go! Oh, he cried. But it worked.
Right.
He ended up running the state in 1200 in 8th grade. So anyway, my uncles, man, Fat Dad and George.
Right.
Gangsters, man. I mean, straight gangsters.
And they was from Dallas?
My mother's brothers, they from West Dallas.
West Dallas, yeah, of course.
See,
West
I understand a song about Wild Mac 110th Street.
Right.
He says, all the brothers 5, they all they do is stay alive. But getting out of the ghetto is a hell of a fight. Getting out of the ghetto, I can't get the words right.
I get you.
But anyway, he said, across 110th Street, he said, what I did wasn't all right, but I had to do what I had to do. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And so he write about that song. Man, the ghetto, West Dallas is a tester, man.
Right.
Okay? Now, when I grew up as Wimpy, I ran with 4 guys, and we had a little old gang.
What was the name of y'all's gang?
We didn't have no name, but they knew us.
Right.
Okay? And the oldest brother, he was always our hit man. He never hung with us. But if his brother was next to him had a problem, he'd come out of nowhere, man, and jump on anybody that messed with his brother.
Right.
That included me. And he'd come out of nowhere, and he'd whoop you so bad, you felt sorry for the dude that got whooped.
So y'all
surprise attack.
Y'all thought of each other all as brothers as one. If one got attacked,
I called his older brother Al Capone.
Al Capone.
His name was Alfred. I called him Al Capone.
Right.
Because he could fight, man. He could run. I was fast, but he would run faster than me, man.
Were y'all getting into fights often?
Well, as Wimpy, I had to fight the weakest one in the group.
Right.
Was CJ, one named Doc Holliday. Mm-hmm. And then I had to fight, if I beat him up, then I had to fight Al Capone's brother, because he got mad because I whooped him.
Right.
And then I had to fight my neighbor down the street, Henry Blewett. Henry Blewett ran Well, when he's deceased now, he ran football, man, and you couldn't stop. I seen him at Sunset. He got in trouble with police officers.
Right.
Police officer on this arm, police officer on this arm. He slammed him to the locker. Booyah! Booyah! That's how strong he was. Mm-hmm. 2 police officers couldn't hold him. And he's about in the 10th, 11th grade. That's how strong he was, man. Anyway, his stepfather, man, it's just so sad. I really hate to repeat this story. I went home with Jason and the mother. They was a little baby. And CJ came down to the house and said, he said, say, Doc Holliday. I said, what's going on, CJ? He said, man, they just shot and killed Henry down the street. Man, I said, you lying.
And Henry's one of the guys you fought.
Yeah, but him was my friend.
But he was your friend.
But he was told to fight me up on the orders, man.
Right.
But let me tell you something about that, though, Chief. And they do them to grow me up.
Right.
Uh-huh. Now, I had to take a licking. Mm-hmm. You hear me? But
right.
when I got mature, there wasn't no more fighting me.
Right,
I'm
right.
a fighter. They used to take my bicycle when I was about 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And now, at about 11 or 12, they give him, at 12, 13, 14, they giving me bicycles.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah, I got
I'm going to tell you about my first hit in a minute. And so I went down the street, man. Henry, his stepfather shot him in the head. Cause his stepfather had killed before.
His stepfather shot him.
Yes. His daddy was a preacher.
Right.
And he had, I don't know if he had died, probably was already dead because the stepfather was living there.
Right.
And Henry had said something to him, like he gonna jump on him behind his mother. And that man shot him in the head. Remember, I tell you, brain was on the front porch, and I'm down there at nighttime. I knew what to do, Chief, so I praying him in. I had to pray him in, man. I never get as long as I live.
Yeah, I know that was
had to pray him in, man.
Moment.
He already dead. I still dream about him like today. So anyway, I went from Wimpy, the Wimp Dog, the Wimp D-O double G, the DOC, the Doc Holliday.
Right.
You know, and so I had to graduate, you know. Now when I had the restaurant, here we go. Jason's mother had took me to I took her to my church. This is in 77, 78.
Your son Jason, his mother.
Yes, Jason was born in 79. He wasn't born yet.
Right.
So I took her to my church that I grew up with. 2 blocks from my house, about 3 blocks from my house. They know me. I come there with that white woman. She was Italian, right? But to them, she white.
Right.
They looked at me like, why you? They didn't say it. They just looked at me like, why you bring a white woman in here?
The church.
They didn't say it.
Pretty much an all-black church.
It was all black.
And they wondering why.
Oh man, they looked at me with this thing,
church.
and like, what you bringing up here for?
Right.
I feel like this little, man. So she said, let's go to this church in Plano.
Right.
The white church. Mm-hmm. I went to the white church in Plano with her. Now
how did they take you?
Now watch this here. Now this is where God got his hand on me. If you're a true Christian, and we call ourselves saints now, if you're a true Christian, you got love for each and every race there is.
Right.
You don't discriminate. So these white people, I went up in there, about 12 of them. I thought they were chanting. I knew they were talking an unknown language. They had been baptized with the Holy Spirit. I know that. I've been learning.
Right.
So they asked me to say, sir, would you like to receive the Holy Spirit? No, I'm willing, because I've been embarrassed in Mother Church.
Right.
So I said, yeah, I was willing. If I tell you, sir, I got to get on my knees for this here. Because you got to humble yourself before the Most High. Somewhere down my throat, man, like I was drinking bird rabbit syrup. Back then, bird rabbit syrup was so thick.
What was it called?
Bird rabbit syrup.
Bird rabbit syrup.
Like bird brother.
Okay.
Bird rabbit.
Bird rabbit syrup.
Aesop's sables.
I see.
Big old jar. It come out real thick. Somewhere down my throat, man, like I was drinking real slow, like bird rabbit syrup, but it came down my throat like Purex. I was being purged.
And they had you drinking it.
No.
Oh, they didn't?
No. This is supernatural anointing that came upon me.
Oh, that's how you felt when they was doing it.
Yeah, what it felt like.
Right.
That's why I can explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Before the Holy Spirit come live in you, he going to clean you out.
Right.
Before he come live inside of you. And then he going to plant his seed up in you. Then you have 9 fruits of the Spirit. My son can name all 9 of them just like that. Jason. 9 fruits of the Spirit, Jason.
Right.
Jason. Is he asleep? Okay. Anyway, Chief. He name off the top. And so, something went down my throat, man. I couldn't explain it, but I've tasted the Lord. He showed me, hey, I want you.
Right.
So I stayed with him for a little while. I thought his mother would see the same thing. But evidently she didn't. Now, one day I'm at work. She go to the Sierra Car Park up there and meet some black guy named Red. And then, where's she at, man? She's been all day home from work. Where's she at? I think Jason was going there. She come home all doped up. The pimp bring my wife to the front burger bar and say, your wife here, man. I said, what kind of God is this here?
And this is after y'all done went to the church and then they got you the Holy Spirit.
About 3 or 4 months later. You know what I'm talking about?
4 months later, a pimp brings your wife home. And this
Now,
is after Jason.
When I tell you I learned the game, so not to play it, so it wouldn't be played on me.
So this
now I'm forced into exile.
Right.
So she leave the house, leave my son to she take my son to babysit, take him off somewhere. I was doing that silly stuff. So I went to this park up there. The next day, I said, this guy must think I'm a punk or something.
The pimp that brought your baby mama home.
His name is Red.
Right. And this is after Jason, your son, was born.
Yes.
Right.
This guy I'm thinking.
Well, the pimp brings your wife home. Your baby mama home.
Yeah.
After he
all doped up, man. Just shot dope. Okay? Trying to kiss me with a slurred speech. Oh, man, got in my face, man. I was just disgusted, man.
And that inspired you.
I couldn't think about the gall that he would do with this here, man.
Right. But him bringing her home inspired you to get into the
I had to
pimp
learn.
game.
I was
You
green, man. I had to learn the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the game wouldn't get played on me. Not to play the game.
Right.
So it wouldn't get played on me. And so she had some surgery around that Christmas. Gallstones. They took them out, but they left a sponge in her. So she figured she was going to get a lawsuit, right? So I come back in about March. She take my son. I used to take her to vacation to Galveston.
Right.
And back. So she take my son and kidnap him, take him to Galveston. Now I'm brokenhearted, right? I raised my son from Jump Street with her, and so every time she run off, I raise him. So I said, man, I can't handle this here. So I got my posse together. Remember I told you I'm a bounty hunter?
Right.
I got my posse together. I got a shoulder bag that you put on horses. I got my gun in there, and we take off to Houston, then to Galveston. This is so strange, man. We get to Galveston, and it's almost dark. We're on the ocean, right? The beach.
Right.
True story. So this white lady come tell me, right before it get dusk to dawn, dusk to dark.
Right, I hear you. I know what you're talking about.
She tells me, I don't want to live and walk off into the ocean, man. I like, wait a minute, man, what you doing? I walked up to her this far, and I didn't see her no more. Because it was a little dark right there, and the wave hit the dock.
Right.
And she was gone.
And this is in Galveston, or is this in
Galveston.
Houston?
Right today, I don't know if this was...
So you are looking for your son because his mother done kidnapped him and
I know she's in Galveston.
Right.
I know she got to go to the hospital because she just had the sponge taken out, so she got to be sent to the hospital.
Right.
So the next day, but the woman went out there, and man, she just, like, that's a mystery to me, man.
Random white woman just
drowned it.
Drowned herself.
The whole, yeah. You didn't see her no more. She didn't float up. She didn't float under. She was gone. I don't know what that was. Anyway, man.
There we go. So you said the lady went into the water, pretty much drowned herself, and then the next day.
The next day, the sun came up. We spent the night on the ocean, at the beach. We didn't get no hotel. Just watch the sun come up out the water.
You and your boys from Dallas.
Yes, my posse.
Your posse.
Yes, my oldest brother and his nephew. They had brought me down there, and so the next day I said, man, y'all stay here. I'm going to go to the hospital and see if she's admitted there. Sure enough, I went to the nurse. I said, ma'am, I'm looking for my wife. I'm from Dallas, and I know she's been admitted here. I gave her my name. So she looked at the Rolodex. She says, yes, she's been admitted here. I said, I need her address. And she said, she's not here now. So I said, I need her address. I can't give that out. So I was distraught. I said, man, I come way down here. And
So she knows that you're the father. The nurse knows it, but she just
I
can't.
told her, I said, I'm her husband.
Right.
I stressed that,
She don't want to give you that.
Didn't want to get, I guess because she knew she was a white female, or Italian, and I was a black male. I guess she just didn't want to give it up.
Right. Around that time, it was.
Yeah, it's in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Late 70s, almost
Late
80.
70s. Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, it was 80 that year.
80 that year, okay.
Yeah, because they were like 1.5 years old. So anyway.
Right.
Now, in life, you can't give up, man. Because you keep pushing, you're going to get what you want. But you got to give up, you get nothing. So I seen this priest with a collar on, male. I went to him, as I say, I explained what's going on. He went to the same Rolodex. He says 2431 Northwest 19th Street. Now I got an address.
Right. You got the address from the priest.
Yeah, I got the address from the priest.
The doctor didn't want to give it to you, so you went to the priest.
So did. Some told me just ask the priest, man. He had compassion upon me, man.
Right.
He gave me the address, And so I knocked on the door. Didn't get no answer. Boom! I kicked the door in. And remember, I got my bag on me. Come like a horse thing.
Horse saddle thing. The horse thing got your gun.
Yeah, so I'm patting my gun. And then this guy come to the door like 6'5". And then Jason's mother said, oh, I knew one day you'd be down here. So this is what's strange right here. Jason looked at me about a 1.5 years old. He did like this here. And then he said, Daddy. So he recognized who I was.
Right.
So the guy says, hey, man, I can see you taking your son back. But why are you taking your wife back? I said, let me tell you something, man. Now, she might be back down here, but for right now, everything she done bought, the car, the telephone with the case in it, and where knickknacks she done bought is going back to Dallas with me. And she going and my son going too. I didn't have no problem. I already know that. I'm patting my little piece.
Patting that gun.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I ain't showed it. I ain't pulled it.
Right.
I'm just patting it, And so the guy, he submitted. I loaded everything up, and we drove back. Do you know we made it back to Dallas about 2 blocks from my house? I live in North Dallas. I left West Dallas because it was I left my mother's house, which eventually was really my house.
Right.
I didn't know. They put the house in my name when I was a kid. And so I went back to North Dallas. I live off Knox and Henderson. Had a townhouse over there. I bought Jason's mother with me. And I should have realized every time she runs off, I get so pregnant. So I get her pregnant with my second child, which is Nikita.
Right.
And
your daughter.
I'm thinking it was a guy, baby, who's out of town, Galveston. But it wasn't. But I'm thinking in my mind, like, you get up out of here. You talking about? You pregnant already? But I should have known. That's how I got pregnant with Jason. She ran one time.
Yeah.
I'm talking about? I should have seen the pattern.
Right.
But, I'm young. I'm already teed off, but she kept running off,
Right.
But she was pregnant with my baby.
And she was running off to be in the streets.
I said, I tell you what, you got to get up out of here. You pregnant. And then she had got involved, man. Oh, man, it's a hard story to tell. She had got involved with my cousin.
Right.
I was now I was the oldest child, had a different father, right?
Right.
So my cousin, they told him he was my cousin. His brother was my blood brother. Mm-hmm. But he had a different daddy.
Right.
I was kin to the dad in the family. So before I know it, he was entertaining my wife.
Your baby mother got involved with your cousin.
Yeah, my wife.
Oh, your wife. Oh, okay.
That's her. Jason's
Right.
mother. I married her because she was pregnant.
You married her.
I married her when she was pregnant with Jason.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't marry her because I loved her. I did. But I married her because I didn't want my life to go like my daddy did me.
Right.
See what I'm talking about?
Right.
How such devastation up on me. Still affects me right today. And both my stepfather and he did, deceased. But anyway, I didn't want to have that effect upon my son.
Right. So you tried to fix what,
I raised
happened
Jason.
to you. Try to fix it.
So I sent her off back to Galveston where she was going to go. And she ended up with my cousin. And I kept Jason. I raised him by myself from day one. And so I used to take Jason to the kindergarten while I was at work. And so at 5 o'clock come, he watched the mothers come pick the children up. So he told me one day, he said, "Say, Daddy, how come everybody got a mama except me?" I said, "Man, suck it up, man. You're going to be all right." You know, try to play it out with him. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
You know. And so this led me to, after a while, I got some profit sharing from the job. I got
You had a promise there from your job.
Yeah,
So we passed the point. Your wife was talking to your cousin, and now
between now and kicked the door in and went down
Right.
and got the gun, but I didn't shoot.
Right.
I had Nikita at 3 months old, and I just gave the baby back, and
Yeah, she
he
told you
run
she was pregnant
outside.
again.
She run in the bathroom hiding and going on. Some say don't shoot. I just left.
Right.
I did that twice. Anyway, they got old. I knew how to take care of Jason, so I couldn't do
Right.
that no more. So anyway, so I come from Crosshampton and go across Westmoreland. I meet a partner of mine, my pimp partner. Became my pimp partner and my best friend.
Right.
Colorado Red was his name. When I met him, he always wear cowboy boots. He had a white girl. When I met him, his white girl had died, so he had another white girl. And so if I tell you, I hit the scene, he said my son Jason lived with my aunt, was laid on with my cousin
Right.
across the bridge in that same neighborhood. She kept him, like put him in with the Eagles, you know, and with her own. And so she kept him for me. So while I had my partner over here, while he hustled, right? Now, I really didn't do no hustling. I get no pay for it, but my life was lonely, and so I was like, watch his back. As long as I was there, who's that man? Because I'm from Hampton. They don't know me. My name is Doc Holliday.
Right.
Because Westmoreland. All they know is Doc Holliday. So they can't pinpoint me and like, is he weak? Is he strong? We don't know. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
So I watch his back while he hustle. And sometime at nighttime,
Your pimp partner that
yeah,
you met.
and
Watch his back while he hustle.
all he did was in the daytime mess with a little tweed. You know, it wasn't nothing hard. Okay.
Right.
But his white girl had died. Listen to me. He had a white Cadillac against the white walls. Had a tangerine orange Cadillac with a half brown and white top against the white wall. We probably showed like sharks in the water. Okay. In daytime, we hustle. At nighttime, we go to the top of this. We go into this club where pimps hang out at.
Right.
And so the Orientals be in the corner right there, right? They'd be the tricks. And this one girl I always liked, man. She said at the bar, black female. I sure really liked that girl, man.
Right.
But she didn't have no pimp or nobody. And so,
So she ain't had no pimp or nothing. She
No,
just
she just-
they
she
call
just
her a
like-
renegade. The
she-
pimps these days call
You know what?
girls without a
Boy, you look-
pimp a renegade.
look at, listen to me, Key Talk. My main man, listen to me. You were right. She had nobody. Right. She always made eyes with me. Cause now me and my partner, we was young.
Right.
Other pimps, they was older, so we really wasn't no threat to them. But we was sure stealing them, okay?
Out in there.
Well, we stealing them,
Macking,
man.
huh?
Yes, sir, yes, sir. And so eventually I got the restaurant. We come off back street to Front Street on Westmoreland.
Right.
So I tell my partner, I get my profit share, and I said, man, I'm gonna open up this restaurant. He said, might be the chef, Doc. I said, okay, man, let's do this, man. And so I worked for him for a couple of years.
The pimp that you had met.
Yes.
Partner.
Just what? Now let me tell you something. He had a white girl, right?
Right.
She was thick, man. And see, at nighttime at about 11:30, he had me take her some roses at her job. So she be dancing, you know. Now we didn't sell raw meat. We advertised the meat.
Right.
We advertised and got paid. And so he had me take her some roses. I wait in the car. He wait in the car for me. I take her some roses. And he know I wasn't no threat because we was partners, man. We like this here.
As far as knocking his girl and
He
taking
wasn't
his
worried
girl
about
from
that.
him.
You know what I'm
Right.
talking about? Matter of fact, his girl told his other white girl, said, say, look here. My man is Colorado Red. He said, his partner's Doc Holliday, and you're going to be his girl. Her name was Spice.
Right.
And so I never met her. And sure enough, she was my girl.
Kind of your girl.
Automatic.
Automatic.
Wasn't no talk about it.
Right.
And so I got to the townhouse, and we supposed to be going to Earth, Wind, and Fire that night in Arlington, where it rained, so I didn't go. So the next day, I went to work, right? And so I told Spice, I said, Spice, now, I had took it from this other pimp.
Right.
I said, now, Spice, don't go back to that place to get your clothes. I'm going to buy you some clothes. Don't go back to the hotel to get your clothes. Back then, they had the pagers,
Right.
beepers. I say, I'm going to buy you some clothes, Spice. I went to work that day. I came back home. Spice was gone. She got the temptation to go get the clothes that she had got.
Back from where her other pimp knew where she was
That's right, that's right. And watch this here. All the pimp had told the young pimp. He said, say, man, my girl Spice is gone with this young pimp, man, and he was older than me. But the older pimp told him what to do. He said, this is what you do, man. You want her back? He said, she's going to come back for them clothes. He said, this is what you do. She's going to come back, you lock the door. You put that coat hanger on that stove. You heat it up. You put it down to the raw.
Mm-hmm.
The next night, Key talk.
Right.
She came back home to me.
Uh-huh.
If I tell you, I said, where you been, girl? She put her pants down after I saw the American flag, red, white, and blue.
Right.
I put cocoa butter on her, man, and hit her back up.
Right.
And watch this here. You would think this wouldn't happen, right? But it happened before my eyes. The old pimp that told the young pimp what to do, he said, now, when you whoop a butt like that, give her your beeper number. She'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Send her back to that young pimp. So she came back to me.
Right.
And so I healed her up.
Mm-hmm.
Then about 3 days later, she gone again.
Mm.
So I said, Colorado Red, where Spice at, man? Doc last time, he always scratch his hand because when he scratch his hand, he's finna make some money.
Much money, right.
Yeah, he said, Doc Holliday, she right there on Harry Hines, man, this club called Dixie, Tapas Club called Dixie something.
Right.
So I said, okay, I got a location. You know, I was a bounty hunter, I'll hunt you down.
Mm-hmm.
So I go up in there, and Spice is dancing. She ain't got no big old chest on her, but they got points on them sticking way up high.
Right.
And so she see me, she turned her back to me, dancing still. So I look out the corner of my eye, I see the black pimp that she had with her. He was selling powder your nose to the owner of the club.
Right, right.
I didn't know that. So 2 bouncers came to me. Said, sir, you got to leave. I said, say, man, what you talking about? I got to leave? I ain't done nothing. Sir, you got to leave. I looked over there, he talking to the black guy talking to the white dude that owned the club. I knew what time it was. I'm talking about, I put two and two together, come up with 5. So I left. Do you know, fast forward to about, I'm 67 now. Let's fast forward to about maybe 58, maybe 10 years ago. I said, Colorado, where your girl at? Oh, I'm going to call her, Doc. What you want to know? I said, where was Spice at, man? He said, say, Doc, some pimp in Houston killed Spice. I said, you lying, man. I said, you mean to tell me after all these years she's still in the game? I couldn't believe it, man.
Right.
I said, are you for real, Colorado? Yeah, Doc. Spice got killed, man, by some young pimp in Houston, man.
Was in the game till it came
See,
to an
what
end.
happened was in Houston, when people come out of Chicago, infiltrated Houston would infiltrate Chicago, they went back and forth. So the gangsters mixed with each other like that.
Yeah, because Houston known for the pimping. They really, really known for
But
it.
he killed Spice, man. I couldn't believe she was still in the game. So anyway,
She should have just chose up and came back with you.
years went by. Yeah. But I tell you what though, as she took that whipping from that pimp, that old pimp told her what to do.
Right.
3-4 days later, she went back.
Mm-hmm. That trauma, that love trauma.
I don't know what it was.
I love trauma.
Well, I tell you what, it worked.
Yeah,
that old pimp knew the game. You know what I'm talking about?
Right. Yeah, you just a youngster at
yes,
that time.
Sir.
But young people at that
so
time.
anytime, I wasn't no big loss. Cause we got the restaurant now, and we selling. I got video games in there. We got a pool table. Got a cigarette machine. We got hot dog baskets.
Right.
Fish baskets, hamburger baskets. We making money, man. Legit. You know what I'm talking about?
Legit money.
Yeah, so we make money daytime.
That's why you were so shocked that she was still in the game because you done leveled up so much.
So
to
many
her.
years later, I'm
Right.
58 now.
Right.
And then I said, man, you mean to tell me? And back then, I'm 27, 28, 30. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
And you mean to tell me that? I couldn't believe it, man. Anyway, so in the daytime, we legit. At nighttime, we turned back to the pimping life. Okay, now watch this here. Key talk. This is important. So we had to be at the club about 1 o'clock when I had our white girls. Now we didn't take the black women's money. We always took white girls' money. Didn't take the black woman's money.
Specifically when.
Only white girls.
Right.
Because the society had the white woman, the man was put up on a pedestal. And
The white man was put on the pedestal.
He put the woman up on the pedestal.
Oh, the white man put the white
on
woman
the
on the pedestal. Okay.
But he despised a black man with a white woman. And boy, we rubbed it in their face ever since we got. Okay?
So y'all was really just pimping on the white ones. Not
Yes,
really
sir.
so much the black
That's right. We only got the white women's money, okay?
Right.
And check this out. So one night we at the concert, and I went to this white girl named KC. She's from Kansas City. We was at the concert at Reunion. So I come out of the concert with a black girl on this arm, she had white on. White girl on this arm, she had black on. I'm fine with both of them. I said, black girl, I'll check you later, baby. I kept the white girl, right? She said, Doc, I said, what's up, baby? She said, we went to the hotel right there. She said, I got to meet this guy over there. He drive a Cadillac cab. I says, what you got to meet him for? Well, I supposed to meet him over there. I supposed to go. He know my son. Supposed to go there. I said, well, you gonna go with him or me? Doc, I want to go with you. I said, don't worry about it. I went over there with her. This dude got out of the car. Having said dude about 6'3", with glasses on.
Right.
My pimp partner knew him by his name. He said, say, man, come here, KC. I said, KC, go see what he want. She went over there. They talking privately. She came back to me. Doc, he want me to go with him. I said, let me talk to him for a second. I said, what you say, Chief, what's going on, man? He said, man, she going with me. He said, I can make one phone call. And in 3 minutes, it'd be 10 cabs up here. Now, what he was saying might have been true. Right. He talk, but check this out. Remember my shoulder holster with the wallet in it?
Uh-huh.
I popped it on it. I said, say, man, who you say she going with? He thought it was a gun.
Right.
All I got in there is a box cutter.
You bluffing.
ID.
Yeah, you bluffing right now.
Oh, man, a major bluff. He bit.
He bit. Mm-hmm.
I said, what you say, man? Who's she going with? He did this here. Looked in the sky. I guess she's going with you, man. I said, I know she's going with me.
Right.
I took her to orange Cadillac. We went down to, it's night now. So we went down to International House of Pancakes on Lemon and on Oak Lawn, on the corner right there.
Right.
So we in there eating, Key Talk. We see a Cadillac cab circling the block of the store like Cowboys and Indians.
Right.
I said, man, that's that dude. She said, yeah, he know my son at, Doc. I said, Casey, you go make a phone call, move your son, I'm gonna watch him, and then if you move your son, we're gonna get up out of here. She said, okay, Doc. So she came back to the table. She said, Doc, I got my son moved. Now they got a door over there to the exit where it says, if you open it, it's a fire door.
Right.
Hit that thing, the bell goes off.
Right.
He said it one more time, with that bell, we got out of there.
Y'all done the great escape.
Yes, sir. Yes,
hit
sir.
the fire alarm.
Yes, sir. He never saw her no more. I got a picture of me and her. I'll show it to you one day.
Right.
Colorado Red with this girl and me and KC. Anyway, I played it off. We were going to watch this here. Fast forward 6 months later. With this club in Lowe's Lane, Toppers Club.
Right.
Now we working daytime. We play at night. Pimping game at night. We fight it showed like sharks. He got a white Cadillac against a white wall. I got a 10-inch orange Cadillac with half bound white top against white walls. We fight each other like sharks in the water. Now we weren't no threat to them pimps because they thought we was young. They green, you know.
Yeah, they were green.
But we snatched them left and right. So that same dude, boy, if I tell you this Italian girl was so fine at this Topless Club, man, She had her down to here, had butt like a sister.
You had a thing for Italian, you know.
Boy, she
Jason
was-
mom's
but-
Italian, and
But this
your
girl
son
here,
mom's
she
Italian.
was thick, man.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. And so she Colorado Red said, Doc, she like she's choosing you, man. Because she kept looking at Pimp in the eye.
Right.
I said, yeah, she like she's choosing, man. He said, Doc, what you gonna do about that? I said, hang on, man, for a second. Then, before I know it, that same guy that I took KC from, he came in with the bluff.
Right.
He came in. It was his girl. But this is what they would do. They would pick him up from the airport.
Right.
They ain't got no place to go. They house them, motel them, and give them place to give them food to eat. And then they be really nice to them, close them up. And then, before you know it, they says, well, how come he never had sex with me? Well, he'd been nice for 2 weeks. Then when he let the curtain down from the big bad wolf,
Right.
and sheep clothing, he said, baby, let me tell you something. You're going to go dance tonight. I don't know what you mean. Oh, you a wolf. Oh, tell you he was a wolf. He was just hiding his fangs, okay?
Right.
So he go whistle something to this Italian girl. Look over at me, turn the Colorado Red, and then walk back.
The thick Italian girl that you were saying that was looking at you.
Yeah, so choosing.
Choosing. She was choosing.
See, when you look at Pimp in his eye,
It's choosing.
you choosing on the quiet.
Right.
You telling the one that you with, well, I'm not happy with you. So when you look at Pimp, you supposed to look, and now you supposed to look down and
Right.
keep going. You know what I'm talking about? But you keep looking, you telling me you unhappy where you at. You choose, you want to get on my team. So check this out. He said something to her, and he went back in the corner and just did like this here, big old heavy set dude. Watch what I'm gonna do. So I went up there and tried to, I may approach her for about an hour later. He turned her back to me. You know what he told her? Key Talk?
What did he tell her?
He said, man, I lost one white girl to this young pimp, and I'll be darned if I lose another one. You hear me?
Right.
Huh?
That's the same guy that you had showed that
Yeah, the show.
bluffed the wallet to. Yeah, he lost one. Oh man.
Oh, I got something else for you. I don't want to say the area of Dallas, but I call it Red Rock.
Right.
I'm in Red Rock Lake area. I got a white girl named Jennifer, and I went to see her, right?
Right.
And entertained her. I dropped her off at her mama's house. Do you know? Her mother looked at me and saw I was black. Called the police on me. The police come and got me, man. And I got the show those on again now.
Right.
But my aunt in there was box cutter. Oh, they think they got me. Oh, we got you now. I said, man, ain't nothing here but my white ID, man. So, we're gonna get you for kidnapping. I said, what? That's a felony. And it's a federal charge.
Right.
So they locked me up. They said the woman said I kidnapped her daughter because she was white. They went with it.
Right.
Remember now, this is the early 80s, 81, 82, 82, 83. And so they locked me up down where Oswald got killed at, the old city.
Oh, so right.
Man, so many people behind me, Key Talk, about 50 people behind me in the cell. I'm at the very front of the cell, so tight like prunes. Just stuck up in there like sardines in a can.
Right.
So the next day, Key Talk, true story. I got up. They turned everybody to what location they going to me and say by myself. I looked up in the sky. I said, look here, Lord. This ain't for me and you. This ain't for me and you. Then the detective came to the door, federal. He said, sir, look like they try to railroad you. Because we knocked on the door and we heard them talking in the background and they wouldn't open the door, so we're going to let you out. Charges dismissed.
Ooh, you got saved. You got saved.
And it's the first time God has saved me, okay?
You got saved.
Okay? I'm at the grocery store one time in West Dallas. I'm sitting in the front on a door day, waiting for the kids to get out of school and they buy some candy and stuff. I got a 38 Derringer in my pocket.
Right.
So I leaned back against the wall of the store, and I got all my pieces on. I got more pieces in this here. I got them on. And my Derringer fell out of my pocket. It's a 38. It shoot 2 times.
Right.
The trigger hit the concrete, knock off a bunch of concrete powder from the ground, from the trigger reaction,
Mm-hmm.
and it shoots a bullet in the awning up there. I didn't know that because concrete hit my arm. I'm like, no, look here, Key Talk. I'm like, man, my shot.
So you done fired off accidentally in the
Yes,
store.
but
In the grocery store, huh?
No, I'm on the front porch.
Oh, on the front porch.
And I'm leaning back in the chair.
Oh.
And it falls out of my pocket, man. but it hits the trigger, and the trigger immediately hit the gunshot, and not but force not the concrete from the ground, hit the back of my arm.
Right.
I'm thinking I'm shot, man. I'm sitting there dressed down, and I said to myself, oh man, am I shot? And I see the hole in the awning up there, the shade thing.
Right.
I said, no, I didn't. Oh Lord Jesus, you done kept me again, because that stroke went the other way. Mm-hmm. And then I said, man, to myself, I said, man, I've been sitting there, half dead, bleeding. They wouldn't have called an ambulance on me. They would have been stripping me of my my delicacies
Right.
and going the other way, okay?
Right.
And so, so like I said, I didn't learn the pimping game to play it. I learned so it wouldn't get played on me.
So you wouldn't get played, right?
So, see what I'm talking about?
You learn so you don't get played.
That's
so
right.
You had to play a little
because
bit.
my pimp brought my wife home.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So anyway,